All right, welcome back. I want to apologize first to Liam. I saw your comments. I didn't have a chance to read them, but I saw you left some comments. So I appreciate that, Liam. You're a good tire. Your channel's amazing. And I'll make a point. After tying, read the comments. I'll do it. Today, though, today's mission, we have a bucktail deceiver, but we have a nice flat face on the bucktail deceiver. Uh, Pushes more water, gives it a little bit more erratic action. You're stripping the fly, strip on the strip. The face deflects water, and then on the pause it'll start to turn, and then on the strip it'll go straight again. On the pause it'll turn, strip straight. So it has a kind of like a walking motion underwater, which is great, really nice. One of the best flies I've tied had a very wide face, and then it was articulated, and but it you I had to use so much material, building the head out of bucktail or deer hair. I think I have it. Yeah. Well, here's an example. So here's an example of a streamer that has a built-up head using deer hair, and this one kind of floats a little bit, more of a top water. It's not a popper because I didn't pack that hair in, and then I don't think it's belly hair. I think it's actually bucktail, but a ton of material on this fly. Good fly, but I achieved the same using significantly less. It's just 3 bunches of bucktail and a little bit of flash, and then the secret ingredient for the flat face. So we'll do the secret ingredient. I'll show you what it is. It's painfully simple. Painfully simple. So we'll start with the stinger. Welcome. I see someone joined. So we're tying this little deceiver pattern, but we're going to widen the head, and I'll show you how to do that. So we'll start with our stinger. We need some bucktail to start with. I'm thinking we'll do chartreuse and white, chartreuse and olive, chartreuse and red. Gray? Well, I don't have much gray left. I don't have much white left. Color. Best color option. Tell me what you think it is. It's gotta be green. I think you go light or dark, and I think this qualifies as light. So we'll do chartreuse, and then maybe blend in some other colors moving forward. I'm gonna start the tie-in. I'm gonna not tie. I'm gonna really limit the space we're tying, because you don't need much. If you could articulate this, and maybe we'll do that some other time, but today it's just going to be simple. But I am going to add a little bit of weight. I want some weight on this one, just to have a fly with a little bit more weight. I've got some that have no weight. I've got some that float, and we'll just do a little bit of weight. So I'm going to put some lead-free round wire on the back end. On the back end of this. Back end of this. You can spool a bobbin with the round wire, and I think that's a faster way to wrap it. I just do it with my hand and kind of bunch it together so it's clean. And then place it right at the point where we'll start tying. And then I'll kind of secure it in. A couple wraps on top, a couple wraps at the back so it doesn't slide. A few more wraps, and then that's it. If you wanted to be more thorough, you could glue that in, but we'll just stop there. The back half of the fly should be the longest bucktail. And the longest bucktail is going to be found at the base of the bucktail. The shorter, softer fibers will be at the tip. Longer, stiffer fibers will be at the back. We want the long, stiff fibers in the back. Normally, you'd want less, like very sparse, and then build that taper. But for this one, it's just going to be 3 sections. 1, 2, head. Head's going to be heavy. So the tail has to match the head. The middle section will be sparse. So a little bit heavier than you normally would for bucktail deceiver. I got a bunch here. We want it long. For a cleaner tie, you would pick out the shorts. Get rid of those shorts, and then you want to check your tips. A little taper on the tips is okay, but I'm going to clean up the ends. I'm going to clean up the ends. I'll go ahead. 2 loose wraps, smush it with my thumb. Work the material around. It's now all the way around. I'm going to check. Yep, looks good. And then start tightening it down, And I'm not going to bother trimming the butt sections. I'm just going to tie them down flat, and then I'm going to start my next section here, where those butts end. But I do want to make sure no material is getting caught in the bend of the hook. It seems like it's kind of flaring now. I wouldn't worry about that. The rest of the material will bring it down, and then having it full is better. And we'll lay some flash on top. Let's choose flash color. Flash color. Maybe a pink. Yeah, we'll do a pink. So this is Flashaboo. I'm going to tie a decent amount of the Flashaboo in. Normally I have flash in the head, but this one is just going to have 1 point of flash. So we'll do a decent amount. I don't like to have the flash like a flat cut. I want a slight taper. So I'm going to pull some ends, make it uneven. Some people will tie 1 point in and then fold it back. Yeah, you could do that. But I'm going to get the midway point, and then I'm going to cut. And then I'm going to just tie it in as one, because I think you get a better distribution. So I'll lay it on flat, and my goal is to have it on the top and then have it slightly past the longest of the bucktail, and then work it around the sides. That's the goal. So I have the material placed. I'm going to press it with my thumb. Collect it again with this hand, start the wraps, 1, 2, and then with your thumb, smush them around, work them around, work them around, work them around. Check your work, that looks good. Work them around. Start tightening it down. That looks nice. And trim off the butts. All right, that looks good. a drop of super glue here wouldn't be a bad idea. This in itself is enough to catch a fish. If we stopped right here, we'd be doing just fine. But we keep going. Next, so the first section came from the base. The next section you can put from the middle. It doesn't have to be quite as long or quite as stiff. It's going to be sparse. So let's do a little bit of chartreuse we'll do a little bit of chartreuse, and then we'll do a little bit of a different color. I'm thinking darker, lighter. Yeah, do a little bit of gray. Do a little bit of chartreuse, a little bit of gray. A little bit of gray on there. Get some short grays. Okay, so we got some short grays. Clean up the shorts. We got our chartreuse. And we'll combine. There's a long gray. I'm going to even it out. So when you're combining the different colors of bucktails, you could mess them around with your thumb, but I'm going to reverse tie this in. Before I tie it in, I'm going to measure the length. That looks good. Transfer the material. I'm going to tie it in gray side down. 2 loose wraps. And then smush it. And hopefully the gray settles more toward the bottom. Got the chartreuse on top, gray more toward the bottom. That's what we want. That looks good. Start tightening, not perfect, but could be worse. And then tight, tight, tight. When you reverse tie, you get this little flare. You can keep it, but you might want to taper some of the longs down. And then we will distribute the material. Let's flare it out. See our distribution. Distribution looks good. Let's advance the thread. Just work it through. Don't trap anything. Hold it up and then let it rest down. Now the thread is in front of the flare, and we'll work the flare back. And then we will press and tie down. That looks good. All right. You need to build a thread dam. I think that's what they call it. A thread dam to hold the reversed material in place. You could use a little bit of super glue, and that would also work. But it's risky if you get glue too far back, then it'll press the hair. So slow, but tension. Too much tension, the thread will slip down. You're creating a cone of thread, and if you do it well, then the hair kind of sits back. Let's do a little bit more, not super tight. A little bit tension, a little bit tension. Oh, thread slipped. Let's do it again. A little bit tension. Now work it back. They're slipped a little bit, but it's better. And that's exactly what we want, just like that. All right. Now, one more clump of bucktail. It's going to be tied in reverse. We're not going to flare it. Yet. So a little thread base there. Let's get a clump. We'll do the chartreuse and gray again. I think it looks nice, or maybe chartreuse and brown. Or maybe, no, let's not get too crazy. And this is going to be a heavier bunch. So we did heavy on the tail, sparse in the middle, heavy on the head. Heavy is the head. Heavy is the head. So there's a bunch of bucktail. Let's get a different color. Yeah, let's try to run with that gray again. Get the gray in there again. Let's measure our tips. Tips are looking good. Let's check out our butts. Butts a little bit hairy. Dirty toothbrush. Pull out the shorts. That's a good one. I'll keep him. And then we're going to clean up the butts. Clean up the butts. Cleaning the butts, it just makes for a little bit more orderly tie-in. Clean up the butts. Measure the length, looking a little bit long. I'd say right about there. The end of the fly's here. So I want the head about there. Almost slightly the same length as the second bunch we tied in. So about there. So we need to take off maybe a centimeter. I'm going to do it down here. Take off a centimeter. This is a heavy bunch that you normally wouldn't want to tie this big of a bunch for the head. We'll tie it in, reverse. We have our gray on the bottom, 2 loose wraps. And then position, a little bit long. Thumb, smush, smush, smush. Smush, smush, smush. Check the bottom. Bottom looks good. Okay, now tighten it down. Significant tension. Check where the eye is. That's a good idea. Maybe I'll leave some space before the eye. So I'm not going to try to sit it tight flush to the eye. I had a dream, not a dream. I had a plan, a want to create like a cupped head, and maybe that'll be in the future, but right now it's not. Okay. The butts are creating a cone, which is great for like a bulkhead deceiver pattern, but this is not a bulkhead deceiver. We're tying a flat face deceiver. So we want the face flat. We're going to take down some of that cone. Just take it down, take it down, take it down. Take it down, tone it down a notch, tone it down, tone it down. All right, perfecto. Now for the magical beans. Yeah, let's tie off. Let's advance the thread and tie her off. I said I wasn't going to flare now, but I'm going to do it a little bit just so I can, or I guess tie it off in the middle. Maybe I'll tie in, then tie off. That's what I'll do. I'm going to tie in and now tie off. So I have a little bit of chenille tied into the head. 1, 2, this doesn't need to be super strong because, spinning a little bit, because we are going to use some super glue. For this, I got a new glue. Usually I do like a toothpick method, but I think the applicator would be better here. So I've got a new bottle. So this is chenille. What I'm doing with the chenille is I'm wrapping it. And the chenille, I made an extended body, what kind of, like a girdle bug or something with the chenille, and it takes the super glue well, it hardens, and that's what we want. We want it to harden. So my dream was to kind of cone it and then fold it back, but it does. I don't think it's gonna work. So don't cone it. Wrap it. So practice. See, like kind of trace out what you're gonna do, and then you want to end it up top. You want to end it up top. If you want it a broader, flatter face, you would kind of double it over itself, which works. So we'll just see how it goes. Keep in mind, you don't want the face too broad because you'll impact the hook point. I'm going to do Shaquille O'Neal. I'm going to do super glue on the chenille, just a little bit at a time, 1.5 inches at a time. Then I'm going to do my wrap. I'm going to let it set. And then I'm going to do another, and we'll do 2 in the front to get the wide face. 1.5 inches. Let it set. You want it right on top of the existing. Let it set. That's good. Now let's start to go back. We'll go back, and then we'll do 2 wraps in the back. Maybe one more. Get that extra wide face. I don't think I have enough chenille. Oh no, I think it's too late now. It already set. We might have to add more chenille. Okay, let's start to bring it back down. 1. See how far we can get here. Adding the glue to the chenille, wrapping it around the bucktail. All right, you need if you want to add eyes, you have to have the surface area to add the eye. So if you just use one wrap of chenille, gluing on an eye is difficult because it's just going to slide forward and slide back. So 2 wraps will give you enough surface area to put an eye. Bottom's hanging a little bit, that's okay. Now, this took me several tries. So it's better to fold it over and then glue it down. I was like adding the glue and then folding it over, adding the glue, folding it over. It works, it's just super time consuming. So it's better to get a good fold, clean fold, practice fold. Practice fold. I also tried using hair clip, didn't work very well. Fingers are the way. Practice fold. We have too many shorts in there. They're poking out. Good distribution. Checking on the bottom, on the top. That looks good. That looks good. You could do it like top first. So if you think it looks good on the top, you could just start gluing it down. Let's do that. Giving her a fold. I think that is about as good. And there's some strays poking out, and you can just pick those out or cut them out. Oh, we lost it. Let's get it back. Hair around. Okay, I think that's about as good as we're going to do. Let's start at the top. Adding the glue, it'll seep in. So if you add it to the back, it'll start seeping down, and then it'll glue it so the bucktail is pointing down. We don't want that. We just want the bucktail point back, if anything. So focus on the front. Focus on the front. It'll seep in. Focus on the front. Let it seep. I'm just doing the top, and then we'll focus on the back later. And then we'll give it a hold. Toothpick it. Give it a toothpicker. Yeah, it's already hard. And then let it go. So now it's just pointing straight back. The bottom we didn't do, but we'll repeat the step and we'll do the bottom. So, oh, you should wait. You definitely should wait until that's completely dry. Good. Oh, my hook isn't coming. I'm gonna reposition this hook. All right, there it is. Okay, I think we're safe. Let's bring it down. And then we'll position. Satisfied with the placement. Looks good. Looks good. The most important thing is you want to glue them straight back, and then you want good distribution around the hook. If you have too much hair on one side, and it throws everything off. So good distribution. And then these shorties, don't worry about them. Don't pull them now, but don't worry about them. Pull them later or trim them out later. Glue on the front. Let it seep in. Glue on the front. Let it seep in. Glue on the front. And toothpick it. Rolling, just getting anything that's beaded out. You don't want that super glue to bead. And voila. Really just solid body, solid head, big, wide head, which is what we like. Time for the eyes. No, not time for the eyes. We gotta work on this a little bit. Work on this side a little bit. Glue that in. Put a drop at the base. And glue it in. That looks good. That looks good. 3 clumps of bucktail. And just so much substance, so much body. Okay. Eyes. It's my eyeballs. Cool eyeballs, regular eyeballs. I don't know if I have cool eyeballs. I have to use these. I don't know what I'll use them for, but these are bait fish heads by Fish Skull. Someday, gotta use those. Never used them. Okay, what size? Big? Yeah, I think bigger. Bigger might be better here. We'll do bigger. Because we got a big head, big face. Let's find the ideal spot. Oh, that was not smart. Yeah, I think this is going to be the ideal spot. Let's glue on the eyes. And get our eye. Place it down. Press it down. Maybe too big. Eyeball is too big. That's good. Find our spot. Glue on the eye. That's good. Okay. Just about done here. Make sure they'll set. I would let it cure for 24 hours, and then I would come back and hit it with like a clear nail polish and to fill in some of those gaps, and then give it a little bit cleaner finish. I'm now trimming out some of those shorts on the head. You don't need to. Keeping them doesn't hurt, but we'll just get rid of some of them here. And that is it. So that's our Deceiver. That's not as good as the first one I did, but the face is wide. The face is wide. This one, I got the face super wide, almost like a popper. This one, not so much, but fatter head than a normal Deceiver. Maybe not a flat head, but a fat head Deceiver. And yeah, really just a solid pattern for everything. Why is this so hard to get this straight? Yep. That's one side, and then that's the other. So easy, simple. Give it a try. All right. Thanks for joining, whoever joined, but I'm done. It was quick. We just tied a Deceiver and then wrapped chenille around it, and then folded the bucktail back over the chenille, and held everything with super glue to get a wider face. That's all we did. So this one has a wide face. This one has a wide face and no foam. So these aren't sinking. These are Deceivers with a wider face. That's all. Au revoir.